Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video of Fox Looks on Connie X. Today, we're checking out his top 10 list of the 10 abandoned Digimon we may never see again. But if we all know, his time after time will activate, and we'll eventually see at least one of these 10 back in something. Maybe it's the call game, maybe it's the VPET, maybe it will even be the TV show. Either way, let's hop in and see who was forgotten by time.
Generally, with the card game and current VPETs now, I think our chances of seeing long-abandoned Digimon is greater than ever. There was a period about 5-10 years ago where there were a lot of Digimon we just assumed we'd never see again. Did anyone really think we'd get Diminimon and Callismon again? But Callismon and Diminimon have showed up in VPETs, gotten full art in good quality, and even the Minimon Nene. Oh god. All getting new appearances, new art, etc. However, there are still Digimon, despite all the ones I've talked about, that Digimon Creative have completely abandoned, and I'm not sure we'll ever see again. But hey, if I'm wrong, time after time activates again. I'm not complaining about that.
And there we go. He made the same joke.
What is up, digital companions? My name is KhanEX and welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, please subscribe. And if you're not here, you've been watching my videos, subscriptions may not matter to you, but they are a huge proof, I believe, to companies like Bandai Namco and to the world at large that Digimon is as popular as it has been in years. So please consider subscribing. It does help a lot, and every time I ask, you will respond really kindly, so thank you. And I'm going to start with a Digimon that I'm a bit on the fence about if we'll ever see again, but its time has come and it got basically ignored, and that is Reverse Weddingmon. Recently, Shortmon and Weddingmon itself got cards after years of barely.
Okay, I'll be honest, I did not know either of these kinds of Digimon existed. And he said it's called Shortmon, probably because of, like, strawberry shortcakes, and Weddingmon. I'll be honest, I've never heard of either of these two, but weirdly, I like them. They look good.
Any good treatment. And I really thought that Reverse Weddingmon would be a natural contender for a mega or at least a similar level to Weddingmon, it literally being a Reverse Weddingmon but often treated as an evolution in the Cross Wars manga. It just baffles me that Reverse Weddingmon didn't get to come in at the same time that Shortmon and Weddingmon did. And I really think there's a place for this guy, but them not doing that, I think to me indicates that maybe they're just keeping it Cross Wars manga exclusive, because at least Shortmon and Weddingmon had some kind of official art before this, whereas Reverse Weddingmon, as far as I know, only has art from the manga. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, and I would love to be proven wrong, that's why it's so high on the list, but for right now, Reverse Weddingmon is definitely abandoned. And speaking of manga exclusives, what about Guidemon? Guidemon is from Digimon Next. One of the less talked about Digimon mangas, in my opinion, but given that we now have Cool Boy from Digimon Chronicle showing up in the brand new Digimon Liberator, I think it's very likely we could see stuff from—
I'm sorry, but his name is literally just Cool Boy? Oh boy, that is so out of the edge. I can laugh.
Old manga that's never showed up again in new media. Mr. Navit from Cyber Sleuth is getting a kind of new version in Liberator, so I think Guidemon would be a natural thing to incorporate into something like Digimon Liberator, a guide Digimon. Its design is also really cool with a very deliberate Alice in Wonderland aesthetic, and I can just really picture this working in something like a Cyber Sleuth game in Digimon.
Ooh, you know what? Hold on. I wonder if the Rabbidios are actually not a call out to the White Rabbit, but to all the TVs, where they had the antenna on the top of them that were called rabbit eels.
Liberator, as I say, or even in the next Digimon story game. The idea of going to the digital world, I'm about to say something cursed, but Alice in Wonderland in many ways is one of the original isekai. So having your main character in a story game go to the digital world and meet a Guidemon as kind of a reference to Alice in Wonderland, I think would be a good parallel. This guy, though, has never got an official art. It was only seen in Digimon Next, and much like Navimon, who I talked about in other videos, though admittedly Navimon has more of a shot these days, I just don't think we're going to see Guidemon again. Bandai, why have you abandoned him? He's so good. Moving over, we're now into the video game exclusive arena of this video, and our first will be Boomon. Now listen, this is one of those Digimon that I actually don't really care if we see again. Boomon is kind of a Spirited Away style of thing from Digimon World 3, where human players were turned into them by the antagonistic force of the game. We see what appears to be a Boomon in Digimon Crusader, although it may also just be a pig, I don't know. If so, that is the last time Bandai acknowledged Boomon, but again, very much just could be be a pig. This is one that maybe is right to be abandoned because it's literally just a little oinker. I do think it's funny though that we're probably never going to see it acknowledged again, and if we do get
apparently it's called Oinkamon.
Pig Digimon again, probably just going to be something else. And staying in the world of video games, my next pick is King Hangyomon or King Divamon, also from Digimon World 3. Some might debate this as a variant, but the text box in Digimon World 3 does designate it as King Divamon when the rest of them are just designated as Divamon. And if Agumon and Lab Coat can be its own variant, then I think King Divamon can be too. This one, honestly, I have some suspicion we may randomly see acknowledged one day, but so far it has been ignored while Hangyomon or Divamon has had appearances in things like V-Pets and the card game. And now with the Vital Bracelet dead, there are less opportunities for mass-scale evolution lines, and instead I think we're going to get more selected, curated V-Pets. Really sad that I was right about the Vital Bracelet, by the way. When the Vital Bracelet was alive, I thought our chances of seeing King Divamon were a little bit more likely, but now that something like dim cards don't exist, I do think this guy is going to be abandoned for many more years to come. Moving back into the realm of manga, we have the original Deathmon and all its variants. Death Airdramon, Death Devimon, Death Meramon, Death Metal Greymon, best name ever, and Death Tyrannomon. I think first of all, the new version of Deathmon that we have ostensibly took its place. But I think that's a real shame. Deathmon was the antagonistic Digimon, the Cell equivalent of the very first Digimon manga. Come on, Digimon. Did a whole video about this, didn't do very well, but if you missed it, go check it out. And when I say it's like Cell, it's very much like Cell. It assimilates the data of other Digimon, which I think is very cool, and we have seen echoes of in things like Arcadimon, and even the D-Reaper, kind of. In each of these different Digimon, Death Airdramon, Death Metal Greymon, etc., was a original Metal Greymon that became part of Deathmon and empowered him. We have not seen hide nor hair.
So you are right. It does pretty much just pull a cell. It eats, it consumes, it integrates, it evolves.
Of these Death Digimon since, with Deathmon and Death Meramon getting their own actual Digimon versions rather than the ones from Come On Digimon, and indeed Come On Digimon in general is pretty much ignored. A lot of the designs in Come On Digimon are very different to the designs we see now, especially Metal Greymon, so I think it's likely that this chapter of Digimon is going to be revered, but is not likely to be referenced going forward. And yeah, all of these Digimon lost to time. Sad. Interestingly, at one point there was also plans for a Rook Chessmon White. We don't know a ton about this, but of course we do have Chessmon variants. Pawn Chessmon White and Black, Knight Chessmon White and Black, Bishop Chessmon White and Black. But for some reason we only ever got Rook Chessmon Black, and then of course King Chessmon and Queen Chessmon. Not a lot is known about this, and we don't really know why we never got a Rook Chessmon White. Maybe we will one day, but for right now, Rook Chessmon White is completely abandoned. And there's one that's just weird that it's been abandoned, and maybe it'll get acknowledged soon, I don't know. Why does Bandai hate Black Guilmon? We got a bunch of black variants of Digimon that exist, so it can't be a problem with like the naming convention or the general nature of Black Digimon and the Black Digitron. They had kind of a focus in Digimon Ghost Game. In fact, Black Growlmon had a focus in Ghost Game. The Black Guilmon apparently has only ever been available in Digimon Rumble Arena 2 or Digimon Battle Chronicle in Japan, and hasn't been seen since in 20 years, which is crazy when you consider that Black Growlmon, as I said, showed up in Digimon Ghost Game, was also in Digimon Rumble Arena 2, Digimon Savers, Another Mission, Digimon World Redigitized, Decode, Digimon World Next Order, and indeed...
So even though we haven't seen Black Guilmon, its evolution, Black Growlmon, has pretty much been seen constantly. So, I don't think this one is abandoned. And let's remove that and make this a top 9.
Digimon New Century, as well as a plethora of V-Pets, but not Black Guilmon? What did Black Guilmon do to you, Bandai? So while researching this video, I found out about something that I think I'd read before, but hadn't really internalized what it actually was. And that is that at one point in Cross Wars, there were designs for a Greymon plus Skull Knightmon, aka the Cross Wars version of Skull Greymon. The design is incredibly hard to pick out, but you can kind of see it in these documents. Isn't it nuts that Cross Wars has new versions of so many Digimon, like Beelzemon, but in particular the Greymon family, with Cross Wars Greymon and Metal Greymon being entirely new designs and focuses of that season, even getting their new evolution Zeke Greymon? Isn't it nutty that we never saw a Cross Wars version of Skull Greymon? Given that Skull Greymon is such an iconic part of Adventure, and I think Cross Wars was very much intentionally kind of rebooting the franchise in some ways, making references to things like Digimon Adventure, with Shoutmon feeling like kind of a merging of the archetypes of Agumon and Guilmon, of course with his own personality, having such prominent Greymon, Metal Greymon, even male Birdramon, but they passed up the opportunity to have a Cross Wars version of Skull Greymon. I cannot believe that. Bandai, you abandoned him, you did him dirty. Bring this one back, you cowards. And speaking of Cross Wars, or at least the dub of Digimon Cross Wars, there was a never released official Digimon Fusion game, commissioned presumably by Saban, that had some exclusive Digimon. I did a whole video about this cancelled project you can check out, but I want to specifically focus in on the Digimon that were designed for it here. The concept art has some really cool Digicross that actually much more resemble traditional DNA Digivolution than just Digicross. This Dracomon and Blue Meramon fusion is interesting. There's a Metal Mamemon, Dracomon, Yastiamon, Katoramon fusion. Few different designs for that. Dracomon, Male Birdramon.
Okay, look at that thing. That thing is clearly just a straight up Megazord.
And Greymon. This looks awesome. Like an alternate take on Titamon or something. Very Megazord vibes. Definitely a counterpart to Shoutmon, as you can see in the art. And indeed adding Cyberdramon from Cross Wars into the mix, making something even cooler. There's a Pharaohmon Shoutmon, a Shoutmon with Deputymon that looks very different. And my personal favorite are the ideas for Shadramon and Shoutmon. Shadramon being one of my favorite armor Digimon. The potential there goes crazy. There are also a few more designs here, like a Dracomon, Metal Greymon, Male Birdramon, a mix of a bunch of Digimon that I think looks incredibly cool, and this Sparrowmon Guardiamon fusion, which absolutely should be a thing. It's giving big Digmon vibes, and I love it. These are all by definition abandoned. They are not Bandai Japan. They were created by a team in America, and they never actually got to come to fruition, so these are definitely abandoned. I think we will probably never ever see them again. We may see a similar concept in something, I don't know. But our final Digimon of this list, and our final Cross Wars related Digimon of this list, comes from the Cross Wars manga, which is a deep river to plumb for abandoned Digimon. And my pick that I think will be abandoned for probably forever is Bagramon Archangel from the Digimon Cross Wars manga. This is basically the original Bagramon, the Bagramon before the fall. You can consider the Bagramon you know almost fall down mode, which is fun because it actually really resembles a black-haired Lucemon fall down mode. Almost like they could be...
Kind of does. I mean, look at that. You could almost think that's just a regular guy.
Brothers, or even Bagramon Archangel could be a variant of Lucemon Fall Down mode. Bagramon has had some pretty intense focus in the card game, and at no point during that did they think to make a Bagramon Archangel card. This is one of those things that I think a lot of people don't know exist unless you read the Cross Wars manga or you're deep diving into Digimon media, and I think it's very likely we're just not going to see this again. We're also probably not going to see like stuff like Mush-Upped Mac Leomon again either. A lot of these manga exclusive Digimon, but Bagramon Archangel to me is something that deserves resurrecting, taking away from just being in the panels of the Cross Wars manga and given a full outing, if only to give Lucemon Fall Down mode a fun vary. But sadly I do think it's abandoned forever. And that is it, my list of 10-ish Digimon that Bandai has abandoned probably forever. Let me know an abandoned Digimon that you wish would come back in the comments down below. Is it a manga exclusive Digimon, or just a Digimon that weirdly hasn't been seen for a long time? I think Bandai is doing a pretty good job of everything that has like official art, getting an outing, whether it be in the Dead Vital Bracelet, the card game, in upcoming V-Pets, but at this point it does start to feel like if it never had official art, we might never see it again. Thank you to my sovereign ZDK14, as well as all my other patrons over on patreon.com/KhanEX, and my channel members here on YouTube for holding it down. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.
Alright everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of y'all next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.